Imagine training your entire life for one moment. 90 minutes of football, extra time, and then it all comes down to this. A single ball, a single spot, 12 yards from goal, and a goalkeeper staring you down while an entire nation holds its breath. No shootout in sports carries more weight than a World Cup penalty shootout. And most fans have no idea why this system even exists in the first place. Welcome back. Today we're answering a question that comes up every single World Cup. Why do extra time and penalties exist at all? Why not just let games end in a draw? And why does football, a sport built on 90 minutes of flowing, chaotic beauty, boil its biggest moments down to something as brutally simple as a coin flip style shootout? Let's break down where this system came from and then get into some of the wildest shootouts the World Cup has ever seen.
Here's the thing. For a long time, World Cup knockout matches genuinely could end in a draw. Early tournaments used replays. If two teams tied, they simply played the entire match again a few days later, sometimes even multiple times. It sounds chaotic today, but for decades that was the system. The problem was obvious. Replays destroyed scheduling. Players got exhausted. Tournaments dragged on. FIFA needed a way to guarantee a winner without asking teams to play an entire extra 90 minutes on top of an already brutal tournament schedule. Extra time became the first solution. 30 additional minutes split into two 15-minute halves, giving tired legs one more shot at settling things the traditional way, with a goal. But even extra time doesn't always produce a winner. Two exhausted teams can play 30 more minutes and still finish level. So football needed a final tiebreaker. Something fast, something decisive, something that didn't require players to run another step. Enter the penalty shootout. It was formally introduced to the World Cup in 1978 and used for the first time in a World Cup knockout match at the 1982 tournament, when West Germany and France played out a legendary semi-final that couldn't be separated even after extra time. Since then, penalties have decided some of the most iconic and heartbreaking moments in football history.
Here's a wild one. The 1994 World Cup final between Brazil and Italy remains the only final in tournament history to be decided entirely by a shootout, with 0 goals scored in 90 minutes plus extra time. Roberto Baggio's miss over the bar in that shootout is still one of the most replayed, most heartbreaking moments in World Cup history. Here's another. Goalkeepers who become shootout heroes often become bigger national legends than the players who actually score. That's because a shootout save feels almost supernatural, a split-second guess that either makes you a hero or a forgotten footnote. And one more fascinating fact. Statistically, the team that shoots first in a penalty shootout wins more often than the team that shoots second. It's called first mover advantage, and it's such a well-documented psychological pattern that FIFA has actually experimented with new shootout formats, including an alternating ABBA order used in some competitions specifically to try to cancel out that advantage.
So why does any of this actually matter? Because the shootout is football distilled down to its rawest form. No teammates to hide behind, no tactics to lean on, just one player, one goalkeeper, and pure nerve. It's why shootouts produce some of the most unforgettable images in football. Players collapsing in tears, entire countries erupting or falling silent in the exact same second. The system exists because football needed a winner, but it accidentally created one of the most dramatic rituals in all of sports. From messy replays to 30 extra minutes to 12 yards of pure pressure, the World Cup's tiebreaker system evolved because the sport demanded an answer, and sometimes the most human way to find one is through nerve alone. Whether you love it or hate it, the penalty shootout has given us some of football's most unforgettable moments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit subscribe, because we're covering the history and hidden stories behind every part of the World Cup all tournament long. Let me know in the comments which shootout moment you remember most, and I'll see you in the next video.